Happy Saturday, everybody. We have a very, very special treat for you guys today. To start things off, we're going to have League of Legends, the North American Challengers League Open Qualifier. North American Challengers League, or NACL, is a league. Basically, it's kind of like League of Legends Academy system. So a lot of these teams that play in the NACL, it's in that path to LCS pipeline. So you're going to see teams like the C9 Academy, TSM Academy. If you get into that league later down the line, this is that Open Qualifier. St. Clair, luckily enough, we'll be playing in that one today. We have Jobin and Fundy here to take you guys through our 2 games Swiss bracket action today.
Yeah, huge qualifier. Going to be running throughout this weekend, and I believe up on some next few weekends as well. But coming in, I believe there's 32 teams in this qualifier. It's going to be Swiss, like you said. First opponent coming up for the Saints here, Winthrop University, a team with a big history behind them in League of Legends, especially in the collegiate scene. They have picked up a few new players coming into this new season as well, so it's not going to be the same roster we've seen in the past, but this is a team that won CLOL in 2021, has players that have had very, very good performances in CLOL over the past year in 2022 as well. This is a serious roster coming in for this first game here. Saints, also a little revamped since last semester coming into.
Yeah, the Saints have a couple new pickups. I think we're going to see Ricky, Bakery Boy. We have a new support, I believe, coming in. The team is going to be a new look team. We're going to see a lot of these times as well. This qualifier as well, you couldn't have like out of region players, so it might not be the final form Saints team, but it is going to be some iteration of it. Every single team that is in this qualifier, do not get mistaken, very, very high level, that A-tier collegiate talent. Every single game is going to be so difficult. As we mentioned, it is going to be in that Swiss format. So if they're able to beat Winthrop, you're going to get an even tougher team, someone like Native or one of those other teams. If you lose, you're going to get maybe a slightly more favorable 0-1 matchup. But Winthrop, as you mentioned, they kill it in CLOL. They're able to find new players. They had a couple players with some T1 Academy stints here and there as substitutions and such. Winthrop, I think C-Val as well. They finished, I think, in the top 2 or 3 of their respective divisions. So Winthrop as a college, definitely one of those higher up esports schools. So this should be a banger of a game.
Yeah, and from what we know too, they're a pretty new program coming in around 2021-ish is when they kind of like rose to prominence there. So very good performance from a new school, like a pretty new threat on the block here, and be the Saints who are going to have to try and take them down today. We're here for the opening of this qualifier here. It's going to be so exciting, and I'm just more excited that we get to keep running this through with these stronger and stronger teams, presumably.
Yeah, exactly. And seeing so many of these huge tournaments that the Saints are now getting into, like getting to see like essentially path to LCS games is so hyped to cast. Especially the one thing for the game, at least, the league meta hasn't really shifted too much in the last couple months. We're still going to see a super heavy poke with bot lane. Rockboom is going to be looking to play that carry. Maybe we're going to see him on the Tristana, possibly the Varus or the Caitlyn. And I guess we should mention as well, Rockboom and a couple of our Saints players did get into the top 10 of North American solo queue for a brief stint. Not sure if they, you got to keep grinding to not get ranked decay, but we've had a couple of these players that have been grinding their butts off the entire winter semester. They've been trying to get to this spot to play in these massive games. And I know all the guys that are on stage behind us are super excited to get into it.
And we've got players coming in soon. Draft going to be getting underway soon. But I think that's just about it for us right now. We will be coming back to you with the draft in just a few minutes. Here we are back from our short little break there and ready to get into draft here. Hope you grabbed your snacks, hope you grabbed your drinks, because game one of NA Challengers League Open qualifiers starting now. We're about to get underway with draft. Bans should be coming through soon. Both of these teams, I don't even know how this matchup is going to turn out, because there's just so many new players and a lot of new picks too coming in with this season. I know we talked about the meta not changing too much, but it didn't change too much in the fact that there's still only like X amount of champions you can really play. But a few of those champions have changed up, and the builds have changed up a little bit as well. And
we've been seeing this super weird trend, mostly in pro play, where support is being picked as the ADC. Now we see Jhin support, Kalista support, Ashe support has been one of the top priority supports. Another top priority support, Heimerdinger, probably the number one priority support. Basically just a lane bully, stomp lane, place the turrets everywhere. Super annoying to deal with, super high AP output later in the game especially. Gonna get taken off the board for the Saints right away.
Yeah, Tristana banned out from Winthrop initially. Rock Boom, a very favored pick from that
his pocket pick.
Yeah, so a very, very great ban to get out of the way for Winthrop. It's just going to be something you don't have to worry about, giving him that comfort pick. And especially, Tristana's a champion that can blow up your ADC very early on in lane with the right support. So definitely a good ban to get out of the way there. Syndra being taken out. We see Syndra get banned a lot.
Strong.
It's because presence in lane, crazy good control mage has been good for so long. And of course, you've got that ultimate as well. It's just that looming threat in every fight.
Yeah, mid is probably the one lane that hasn't really had the most change. You see Syndra, you see Victor, you might see some Orianna, you're going to see Akali, you're going to see Silas. A lot of the same 7-8 champs, Azir being one of the main ones as well. But we're going to see Maokai get taken off the board. Maokai, since his rework, absolute nightmare to deal with. His ultimate can cover the entire Baron pit, the entire Dragon pit. So strong with the team fighting. Those saplings, once you get to later in that game, saplings in every single bush, you're getting chip damage the entire time you're walking through off vision. So annoying to deal with. So this Winthrop gonna say no Maokai, and then Wukong getting taken off the board as well. Very, very strong in the meta right now as well.
Yeah, Maokai also a champ that can, while it may not be optimal, theoretically could be flexed to everything except ADC.
Yeah.
You could play it support, jungle very strong, and then top and mid are always flexible for that champ right there. Wukong has just been a threat for like months now, it feels like, and you never want to see that champion on the Rift. I mean, he gets armor pen, he's got knockups, dashes, attack speed boosts. What more can you ask for in a melee champion like that?
Yeah, now we are going to see Pyke get taken off the board. So the Saints, at least we saw last semester, now we're going to see that new look with Rock Boom being that consistent. They love to play aggressive. They want to get Rock Boom online nice and early. And the times they got Rock Boom online, things usually went very well for the Saints. Now, curious to see what they're going to end up drafting, but you can see some of these aggressive bot lane choices taken away. Pyke wants to get in your face, wants to go for those hooks, wants to be super aggressive. Tristana wants to dive on you, wants to go for that all-in, able to take out those towers. But as we've seen so much in actually the last, Sejuani has been a mainstay for a very, very long time now. That'll be the first pickup for the Saints.
Yeah. Probably, I think, one of the most enabling junglers in the game. It's all about your team with Sejuani, but at the same time, in those early levels, you can bruiser it out. Like, you can battle it out in the jungle. Say you run up on the enemy jungler, you get those stun stacks up, and they can chunk a lot of damage when you finally crack that ice, and a lot of people are caught off guard by it, I think.
Yeah, super good for team bites. The ultimate so good. Just that easy point and click, try to stun up enemies. Now we are going to see the Jax getting first pick for Winthrop. So something that Ricky has definitely loved. Jax as well has been super, super strong lately. A lot of these bruisers, again, lots of attack speed, the ability to go for that all in Jax. Always very, very tricky to deal with in lane. You always got to worry about that late game split push. And we are going to see the Ashe support getting locked in. So just as we talked about, Ashe support underneath Heimerdinger, probably one of the higher tier support priorities. So not going to be too surprising. It's a super heavy poke bot lane meta. So both of these teams are going to be looking to probably win in the laning phase.
Yeah, I know it's not technically Ashe support just yet, but I think we can all be under the
that's how my brain
just with how the meta's been going recently and how just kind of picks I've been shaking out a lot. Silas to come through for St. Clair College, that's going to be Bakery Boys mid pick there, followed up by a classic we have not seen in a while. That's the Darius, presumably for Ricky in that top lane.
Yeah, Darius not really going to be one of those flex picks. He's going to be in that top lane. So the Saints looks like right now they're going to go for that kind of that 3 bruiser lineup, at least as things shake out. So they want maybe those extended fights. They want to be able to beat those opponents down. We are going to see that Akali get picked up on the other side. So Silas versus Akali should be a very good matchup. I'm sure it's a matchup Bakery Boy is familiar with. We saw tons of games on him with Akali last semester. So definitely going to be an exciting match. And both of these mid laners kind of talked about as well. They're kind of like those under the radar players. They're not going to beat your team. They have the ability to pop off. They're both very similar in that way. So the mid lane matchup should be a very fun one to watch. Now we're going to see that Poppy ban and the Kate ban getting pulled through for each of those sides. So Kate, oppressive bot lane, one of the best ADCs in the game for the last couple months. Poppy, super good for disengaging, getting the jungler out of those steal opportunities, just very good for team fighting as well.
Yeah, follow-up ban from Winthrop is Raven, so they're ready to just take ADC options off the board. But an interesting note is that I was actually, as we were doing the research for these teams, we actually found out Winthrop's ADC, very, very big fan of pulling out that Draven as like a pocket pick. So it's interesting that they opt for the ban, especially since Rockboom rarely plays the Draven, if ever. So it's interesting to come out for that ban. But Tom Kench followed up, and an Elise pick in the jungle for Winthrop, Samira ADC locked in.
We've been seeing a lot more Samira recently. I'm guessing Rockboom definitely has some experience on Samira, so you can see both these teams, they want to go for that early lead in the bot lane. And the Draven wouldn't really pair as well with Ashe. Draven wants to be with that all-in, that is super heavy engaged support to lock someone down, make sure he can start firing off those axes. The Elise pick, though, we haven't really seen much of Elise. I don't think we saw a single Elise maybe the last semester at all, so I think she's been getting a little bit more popular recently. We are going to see the Karma rounding out that Saints bot lane, though, so again, poke heavy, try to win out of lane, very good for team fighting, just to slow those enemies. Karma, one of the safest, most consistent support picks the last little while.
Plus, you kind of forget about this too. You pop a shield onto that Samira while they're ulted, they get a shield, they get movement speed boost, they get a ton of great things for Samira. Any kind of CC, right? You come in with that tether, Samira gets to follow up on that.
Not a lot of CC for Winthrop, though, looking at it now.
Yeah, really.
Zaya, yes. Ashe more so, but Akali, Jax.
Elise has the one stun, really, and that's your main ganking tool on Elise. But other than that, not too much lockdown. Really going to be focusing on that Ashar following up. It looks like a very pick-heavy team. I mean, you've got a lot of single target damage to come through, and then kind of just that Jax to really round out your side lane.
The only tricky thing is Winthrop, you can see as well with those characters, Jax, Akali especially, they're going to kind of have to go for that all-in, especially in these team fights. I'm curious if the Saints can play really good front to back. Can they use Rockboom and Karma? Can they play off that back line? They have those 3 bruisers, so even though they have that little bit of CC, if the Saints can make this team fight go, I think like 30, 35 seconds, the longer the team fight goes, I think it's going to favor St. Clair, especially if they start itemizing these tank items. Maybe we see the Jax show, the Heartsteel, some of these tank items that just make it so, hey, I'm not going to deal that much damage, but it's going to take you a very long time to kill me. And I mean, you still got some very good damage output as well. The Karma, always good for poking. The Sejuani, good for locking things down. If Darius can get that combo going as well, so strong. But very interesting 5v5 matchup nonetheless.
I mean, you get enough hemorrhage stacks going. Darius can R any of these players, maybe minus the Jax, because blocking those auto attacks can stall that just a little bit. But I mean, you look at the rest of Winthrop, other than Akali and Elise kind of having that mobility, that escape tools, Ashe is going to be a sitting duck against that Darius. You get slowed up by the Karma, and you are just going to be ran down by a rampant Darius should this Darius get ahead. But at the same time, as you look later into the game for Winthrop, you've got Ashars on presumably what's going to be like a 35-second cooldown, and you've got that scaling from the Jack. So they've kind of got a bit of like a get-ahead early snowball, maybe that mid lane with the Akali, and then feed it into that Jax later in the game.
Yeah, it's going to be, the top lane matchup should probably be the most, I don't want to say the most even, but Jax versus Darius can go either way. They're going to both try to get those early trades. They want to try to get that early advantage. The later the game goes, I'm curious to see, though, because the Saints have so much engaged. They have the Sejuani, they have the Silas. They can get onto people, but are they going to be able to follow up, end up finding those kills? But we are now on to the Rift. North American Challengers League Open Qualifier. Game 1, St. Clair College versus Winthrop University in this Swiss bracket. The winner, the matchup will be determined after this game, but we are now on to the Rift to start things off.
Yeah, wards coming through, couple invades. It's only my bud from Winthrop to be able to spot out actually all 5 members of the Saints towards top side, but the Saints are actually able to destroy a ward from that. So here's the thing. Yes, it's a very, very small amount of XP, but I believe it's like 4 XP that you get from the ward. That technically will make you hit level 2 first. And I believe anyone who got a hit on that ward gets the XP. I could be wrong about that. It could be just the person who destroys it. I'm not 100% sure, but that at least means that Biscotti over there in the bot lane will have a little bit of XP over that Zaya over Roddy Rich there on the Ashe as well.
I do love that Rock Boom. I wasn't sure if he was going to go with the cleanse or maybe something like the heal, because the cleanse, because there's not really that much CC, I wasn't sure if he'd go for it, but I actually love that. So he has the Karma Shield, you have the Samira ultimate where you can basically dodge any attack, and you have the cleanse. So they have a lot of ability to disengage, kind of avoid that CC. That Winthrop has that kind of, what's almost like a 1.5 layers of CC. If they can get past that Ashar, end up engaging onto this team, I think they're going to find themselves doing very, very well, but they're going to make sure they have to not get caught out. Like you said, Winthrop, they're going to be looking for picks to try to get, get that early 5v4 advantage in a lot of these team fights.
Yeah, a lot of the times it seems like it shakes out where Samira's often take a more defensive summoner spell to just kind of help themselves get ahead during the lane, have as many options to not die as possible, right? Because you often won't see a Samira take that Ignite or even take that heal. I feel like it's usually Cleanse or Exhaust to come through for a Samira, and you're going to let your support take that aggressive summon.
Yeah, then you see Biscotti end up going with that Ignite as well. So the mid lane, pretty even so far. Both these guys kind of going back and forth the bot lane. As we expected, going to be that super poke-heavy style. Both of these teams, they want to try to get that bot lane prio, try to get that jungler unlocked, get that Sejuani, get that at least able to patrol around the map. Try to set up some of these early dives potentially. The Saints, so far though, out on the back foot here just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, starting of the game, some waves are going to push towards that tower, crash through. But if you look at this bot lane, actually, double the CS over towards Wu ZKG there to start. Rockboom stuck under tower. That tower shots, they're going to take away some of that CS as well. A great crash there from the side of Winthrop. But I think mid and top are going to be... I think they're going to be pretty stagnant lanes until some junglers get involved. I just don't see either of these players going for all-ins unless Ricky or Mabud finds himself where they're in a very good trade. Rockboom to find first blood. Missed that engage there, but Roddy Rich forced to burn Flash. Follow-up to come through from Bakery Boy.
Wow.
The E's going to hit to Bakery Boy. Finds the second kill. 2-0 St. Clair College to start just before 4 minutes.
It did not look like the bot lane had a kill angle at all. They must have got stunned up there. I think the Ignite came through as well for Biscotti. Actually, you can see all 4 summoner spells, all sums down bot lane, but exactly from both sides. The Saints end up with that 1-for-0. Beautiful roam, and rather 2-for-0 Rockboom, or Bakery Boy. Beautiful roam to that bot lane as well. He actually, no, and then he TP's back to lane. I thought he maybe TP'd to the bot lane, but nice roam, land the chains, get back in there, and you're going to help Rockboom at least get back in that CS department as well.
Yeah, now you're fairly even on CS, but Rockboom picks up a kill, so he's going to be about 300 gold ahead.
And he gets the assist as well.
Grabs that serrated Dirk. That is a huge one. We're talking about an extra 10 attack damage plus lethality compared to just a little bit of attack speed extra that Zaya is going to have, as well as being below on that attack damage. So Samira in a very good position in these next few fights to possibly find a few more kills and just start snowballing this lane through, or at least have that kill threat. Ricky ganked on from Frost Forest here, waiting in the bush for that lane gank, and the Elise finishes off that kill. That's an easy one for Elise and Jax.
Yeah, I was about to ask. We haven't really seen much of either jungler so far, just going for that power farming, trying to full clear these camps, but Ricky getting caught a little bit too far out there. Beautiful job early on by Frost Forest to find that kill. Try to get Winthrop something back in one of those lanes. Now, Bakery Boy getting the slight edge on these trades here in the mid lane. Now, the first drag actually going to be started up by the Saints team. They should be able to take it as well. Not going to be that bot lane contest. They got 3 members stacked up there. So there'll be 1 Infernal Drake over to the Saints. A little bit up in gold. Not really too crazy. So fairly even early game so far.
Yeah, I mean, Winthrop is able to find that 1 kill back, and I mean, you get the Jax ahead as much as you can, and you can be pretty confident in your future in the game at least, so could see this Elise, see Frost Forest going top lane a lot more often now that, you know, bot lane might be a lost cause. I think it really depends on how much these next fights shake out, because a Samira with a kill ahead is nothing to scoff at, and I think the second you find 1 or 2 more openings, this bot lane becomes just rampant.
Yeah, the only thing is if ZKG can keep that CS lead to enough amount where he can kind of override the kill, he might be in decent shape, but he's going to have to make sure he's trying very, very hard to do that to make sure they do have that slight XP lead from that CS, it looks like. So he's going to hit that level 5. Rockboom and Biscotti still sitting at that level 4. Frost Forest will take a roam over to the mid lane here, see if they can catch Bakery Boy. Him and Ivano both at full HP, but just going to be a look, maybe go into that bot side jungle, steal some camps away, but just going to get that Scuttle Crab, take some vision. Looks like Bakery Boy maybe going up to that top side as well, trying to maybe set up some kind of dive with Ricky here.
Maddie too here on the jungle. Bakery Boy dashing in on Mabud. Might get stunned up, though. Bone Plating's going to pop as well. That Soul and Akali ult not going to be good. And now you've got 3 players towards this top lane, kind of just around. Reset going to come through from the Jax, but over towards that bot side, Elise about to go rampant in this red side jungle, steal this red buff. Krugs are about to be up soon as well. And Ashe gets that vision, knows that nobody's going to come there to contest. This Sedge is going to be very behind in CS soon.
Yeah, I don't hate the idea from St. Clair, because especially you don't want Ricky to get behind the Jax. Jax with that split push, if he gets ahead early, can just be an absolute nightmare to deal with. Trading with him is so difficult. So they get Ricky the plate, try to get some gold in his back pocket, maybe help to get him online a little bit earlier than they were hoping for. The bot lane still going to be pretty even, all things considered. Winthrop, as you said, go steal the red buff, try to do some counter jungling as much as possible. Kind of wait for this first Rift Herald to set up, or we'll maybe see that I guess that first team fight start. We've seen just kind of skirmishes so far.
Yeah, skirmishes to come through. A couple players getting caught out, and then that one gank top lane, really. But other than that, slow game to come through. Gotta hand it to Wu, though, in the bot lane. I mean, he's been keeping this CS lead up. Now has that Noon Quiver available. I think in terms of AD, Rockboom might still be ahead, just absolutely stacking longswords, trying to make every hit count when they do come through, especially pre-6. I think that's huge.
Yep.
As you're just constantly canceling your abilities there. But coming in, I mean, I still couldn't tell you exactly who's necessarily stronger. I think Wu having level 6 will be very strong in this fight, but I think the timing of that R from the Xayah is going to be the main factor there.
Yeah, Vano already going to be at that level 8 as well. Maddie, they're out this top side vision, going to get tagged up there by that vision cone. Though now, maybe potentially a top side dive if Forrest maybe wants to go in here, but it looks like the Rift Herald is going to be that priority now. Maddie going to get it started, but yes, 2 members breathing down his neck. There's the Cavalry, though, coming to help him out, trying to secure this Rift Herald. Should be able to take this one. Don't think we're going to see that contest from Winthrop. That would have been a very risky play. So the Saints, they get first drag, they get first Herald. Lane State in a pretty decent shape, so solid early game overall, but lots of room to still make some plays.
Yeah, I think Elise is a champ that could maybe try to make that steal with the repel and everything, but definitely the safe play
Risky
coming through
early, yeah.
from Forrest there, and the reset starting to come out towards top lane. Actually, Biscotti might stay. Oh, the back canceled for a sec, but Rockboom sitting duck under tower. Luckily for him, though, Roddy Rich has yet to hit level 6, which means no Ashe arrow to come through under that tower, no dive threat. At least for now, Rockboom gets a free reset.
Yeah, for the team that has Ashe, once that level 6 is hit, that's when you really want to start the team fights. Yeah, now that level 6 is there, now you can fling that R to the top lane, maybe catch Ricky out. You can send it into these team fights early on. It is that ultimate engage tool for them. You're going to get at least 3-4 seconds of hard CC. Maybe you can chain that and find one of those picks that they will be looking for. Avano, you get a nice trade over on the Bakery Boy here. Bakery Boy with that blue buff just under tower here. Bit of exactly what we expected out of the mid lane. Bakery Boy went and found the kill bot lane, but fairly even in CS, fairly even in lane state. The tower, no one's really taken a plate yet, I don't think so. Super even game across the board. Only that 500 gold difference still sitting.
Yeah, you see that first back from the Ashe too. They hit level 6. They grab Lucidity boots, just trying to have as many Ws and as many frost arrows on the Rift as possible. As many as you can throw out, the better.
Okay, now we're going to see this walk down to the bot lane. Yeah, we're going to see that stun come through. The R is going to get landed. Rockboom, though, going to be able to get away. Biscotti as well. Going to use that flash to get away to safety. Only that one summoner spell going to be burned. Now Maddie going to show in this bot side. Maybe try to set something up, but those 2 members of Winthrop pushed a little bit far back for something to happen more than likely. Trying to stop that cannon from getting farmed up as well. Not stop that. The Saints are maybe going to set up for this dragon as well, but I would not be surprised to see Winthrop try to contest this one maybe.
Yeah, it would require this.
They have to collapse quick, though.
Ivana would have to come try and collapse. You see them start to come down towards this bot side. Ricky also in the vicinity coming through mid. However, that Sejuani ult not going to land on Roddy Rich there. There's the repel from the Elise as well. Elise goes down quickly, though. That's no more jungler. Ivano falls. Double kill for Bakery Boy. Double kill for Wu, though. Ricky to come in and finish that one off. Roddy Rich still alive here, but doesn't really have much up to be able to try and steal this away. Just going to toss a volley there, but that is another 3 kills to go over to the Saints. But 2 picked up by Wu there. Wu's able to grab that Mythic now.
Yeah, that's going to be a very tricky state for that bot lane. As you said, he's already got that Kraken Slayer Rockboom. Now he's going to get that Scythe, try to get a little bit more lifesteal, keep that lethality going now. He does have that Noon Quiver, but that 20 CS lead, as we talked about, ZKG menace with the farm, almost sitting at 10 CS a minute so far in this game. So that's exactly what we talked about. If you're not able to find the early kills, as long as you keep that farm at a mega consistent rate, you can still keep yourself in the game. We see Biscotti as well, having 5 assists already, so getting involved on every single one of these kills. The Saints, they play that team fight very, very well. And Bakery Boy, definitely not the worst person to get that XP on.
Yeah, it's able to allow him to get this fairly early Rod of Ages here. Bakery Boy dodges that Frost Arrow, should make it to his tower safely. Avano here, actually very, very threatening with that Ash Slow, is able to get so many Qs off. Few enhanced autos as well. Bakery Boy, though, shouldn't miss any CS here under tower. That's pretty good in terms of the longevity of this game. You've got this 3-0 Silas, shutdown on deck. You can see Winthrop's hungry for it, but he's just waiting out this Rod of Ages at this point, trying to keep these 4 Darksteel stacks as well. Rock Boom, though, pushed up a little far. Great wind wall to come through. Wu ZKG, though, he's ready. He's Kraken Slayered up, wants to make this fight. Rock Boom makes it out with about 100 health there.
Yeah, we're going to see some ultimates get traded. We saw the Xayah and the Sejuani are get traded there. Rock Boom, look at that HP. He has to be very, very careful not to give any more kills over to this Xayah. They did drop that Rift Herald bot as well. Now we're going to see Bakery Boy swing down here so they can at least try to get a couple plates over here, get some gold into their 80s back pocket. The Ashar just going to miss wide of Rock Boom there. Didn't have that cleanse or that flash up as well, so very, very critical. He does not get caught out here, or it would be the end of his time. But the Saints get the drop, get a couple plates, get a little bit of gold in their back pocket. They're going to trade that for some bot side River Vision. Other than that, nothing really coming of that play.
Yeah, Winthrop, pretty good shutdown, I'd say. Yes, the charge did come off, but I mean, you were able to shut down what could have easily been 4 plates, 3 plates coming through with 4 members down there, and Frost is able to just walk back up the river, grab the scuttle as well, and continue farming out that jungle. At least you're not worried about finding any more kills, have that Silas roam down or anything like that. You're able to just shut that down. Wu finds a plate for themselves as well.
Yeah, he might be a little bit too far out, though. Biscotti gonna go to try to land that root. He's gonna get tagged up, though. Gonna get stunned. ZKG gonna find that first kill. Now Maddie gonna turn on him. Gonna land the stun. Lots of damage going in Maddie's way. He's gonna get that flash out. Can he land one more stun? ZKG sitting at 1 HP is going to escape, though. And now the flash engage from Frost Forest, seeing if he can take out Maddie. So much damage from this Elise. Maddie is going to fall, so it ends up being a 1-0 for Winthrop. It looked pretty decent there for a second, but they're going to get the kill they were looking for. Now Bakery Boy trying to get it going in the mid lane. That Ashar perfectly timed, though. He's going to get comboed up. The exhaust comes through. Can he find the kill onto Abano? After this exhaust, the Q land is going to be there. He is going to fall as well, so Winthrop getting kills across the board here. They're going to try to close this gold lead. Actually, they're going to have 1,000 gold lead of their own, and now Rock Boom going to try to engage on the forest here. Is going to pop that R, but the escapability is going to land up, and he lands back down. Squishes Rock Boom. That'll be 3 in a row over to Winthrop, and now they have opened up a 2K gold lead in the span of 45 seconds.
Yeah, Rock Boom almost good to get that red buff back that Maddie gave away earlier, but Frost Forest, that repel comes out, and that Q comes back up. That max health damage is so taxing in those fights like that. When it comes down to it, in the end, you get that empowered auto coming back up, and it's huge. That fight can just assassinate people, and I mean, Elise just doing the job of Elise perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. This is a textbook Elise play. Seeing 3-1 already has the Night Harvester. Gonna have those T2 boots stacking up that Dark Seal as well. And you can see the bot lane has definitely been tricky. We're gonna see Bakery Boy fire that Ashar. Gonna get the flash out of Roddy Rich there. Look at 144 CS. Has the Kraken Slayer, has the hammer, has the pickaxe for more AD. Should have those T2 boots sooner or later. So this bot lane has definitely been a very big problem. The Saints, though, going to be able to overcome it in these other ways. They do have that 2-dragon lead, which is the one thing they can lean into. If they're able to get that to soul point, they can start to take some pressure off that side of the map. But I think they're going to have to find a couple kills here if they really want to get back in. You got to catch Winthrop out.
Yeah, it is a Chemtech soul too, a great soul to grab. Bakery Boy caught out by that control ward. Able to take that down. This Asher is the bane of Bakery Boy's career right now. Stunned up by Elise to follow up. Avano, though, in a tough situation. He tags him up. Bakery Boy, no more chains to be able to hit on to that Akali, but and just clear out this vision. Bakery Boy's tanky enough, I think, to be able to just kind of play this zoning game for the team, as Maddie's able to be there for that smite in the Dragon Pit, but this is a 5-man setup here from Winthrop. However, they're split two sides of this river.
Yeah, the Saints are doing a really good job, just like you said, splitting that one in half. We're going to see the Argo through the Sejuani onto ZKG. They are going to end up taking the Dragon, but the team fight is what's coming next. The Ash Arrows are going to go in. Triple stun going to land. Avano's going to find the first kill under Ricky. Second kill going to be found for the Elise. Rock Boom's going to fall. Bakery Boy goes down as well. Mabud is at 1 HP. Baschetti also sitting very, very low. The Saints, they get a Dragon, but at what cost? 3 members fall, I believe, by the end of that fight. It is a 3-0 for Winthrop. That gold lead now into that 4K advantage. Another kill onto the Xayah, another kill over onto that Elise. Couple bounties for these Saints to try to get if they want, but this Winthrop team, they are so good at finding picks, exactly what this comp dictated they had to do.
Winthrop just herding this team into the Dragon Pit to be able to find those kills. It's barely 2 players make it out there, having to burn up those flashes as well. You said it yourself. They get that Dragon, they get to Soul Point, but for what?
You've got to play very, very cleanly the next 4 to 5 minutes until you get to the Baron or to the Soul Point, because right now, taking a team fight if you're St. Clair, unless there is an objective on the line, you're almost guaranteed to lose that team fight. I mean, look, we talked about the bot lane earlier as well. It is a slight CS lead mostly across the board, pretty even otherwise, but that Xayah already going to be on those quick blades as well, just such a terror to deal with. It's going to be so hard in a team fight. Xayah has a decent amount of mobility, able to kind of get away. Very, very strong R as well. So with Winthrop, exactly, when they can get that chain CC going like they did in that Dragon Pit, this comp is very, very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it's like, we talked about it in draft. They don't have that much CC, but when one
hits,
follows up by the other, followed up by another, it cannot be matched. Gonna have a live replay coming in from that fight too, so we're gonna see exactly what it is that really pushes all these Saints back. See, the engage comes through the repel.
The Jax.
A huge stun from that Jax.
Yeah. Mabud hit 4, I think, with the stun, and the rest was elementary for the side of Winthrop there. The Akali and the Xayah go slashing around. The Elise ends up picking a kill as well, so it's exactly Winthrop. Fighting in these small little chokes, these small areas, is going to prove so good for them. For the Saints, though, we talked about how they kind of have the ability to disengage, but if you don't have those summoner spells up, if you're on those cooldowns, all of your disengage tools aren't going to be up at the right time. And if you're not able to get away, we talked about it. If one thing of CC lands for this Winthrop team, it could end up meaning death for one of these Saints members.
Yeah, I think a big problem in these fights, too, or at least the few team fights that we really have had, is that Rockboom has been very late getting that ult out, hasn't been able to stack up that Samira passive, and right, that's your main win condition in these fights. You have Bakery Boy for targeted removal of any person you want, really. Anyone on this team except for Jax. I think Bakery Boy should be able to one-shot. And then you've got Ricky LaFleur, of course, for those executions, but really your main damage relies on Bakery Boy, or Rockboom, my bad, clicking R in that team fight.
Yeah. They're going to need to get value out of Rockboom, especially like max value, like getting the Samira passive stack. Like, the Saints cannot win a team fight unless Rockboom contributes heavily. I mean, look at the gold lead. We talked about it went from like 1 to 2K. They're sitting at 5.5K gold lead already. So how quickly things snowball, and they are all walking topside already. You know they can smell this 20-minute Baron potentially, because they know the Saints cannot take a 5v5. And even conditions perfect, the weather is perfect, the temperature is all good. At 5v5, the Saints more than likely are going to get wiped off the map. I think Winthrop knows that. I wouldn't be surprised as getting that topside vision set up. They want to try to make an early play for this Baron. Look at Mabud, though. 3 of these Saints members, can they find the engage? Goes for the dive. Can he find that stun, though? The Ash Arrow comes through. Can he get to the blast plant as well? He will end up getting away with that extended boost as well from the Chemtech.
Okay.
So that'll be a very good play for Winthrop, all things considered.
Mabud has to have the craziest footwork I have ever seen. He just, with no summoner spells burned, weaved his way around a Sejuani Q and the 2 hits of the W, found their way through the tri-bush and jumped back to safety. Just the calm, collected plays there. Yeah, just sees that and immediately reacts. Okay, sidestep upwards back through the tri-bush, and he's ready for it. Look at those sidesteps on the W, Mabud. Crazy footwork, and when you put a player like that onto Jax, but the stun comes through from Bakery Boy. Jax, will they blow up? Mabud makes it out alive. Avano in the backline, kind of caught out by Bakery Boy, forced to use that R to come through. Kill comes through, Ricky's down, Roddy Rich, another R comes through. Golden is Bakery Boy, but Maddie and Baschetti are ready to fall. Mabud is able to find another kill as well, or it goes over to Wu, and that's the fight all but cleaned up, except for Rockboom there. Stuck under tower. Winthrop comes in with 4 kills.
Yeah, at this point, the win condition for St. Clair is kind of get lucky in the team fight, I guess, because right now Winthrop, they're going to take this Baron, they're going to get they're going to get Wave Prio in every single lane, they're going to end up taking this Dragon, stopping that Soul for St. Clair. They should be able to get a pretty good shove, should be able to take that middle inhibitor once they get this Baron power play going. Just so strong of a play from Winthrop, and it's what we talked about the Saints. They had a beautiful job engaging, but when they weren't able to find that first kill off of the engage on Mabot, I believe it was, the fight was honestly going to be cooked. They have to find that engage, and they have to find a pick right away, because once, I think it was Roddy Rich too, end up going down to about 20% HP, gets away, ends up throwing at least one more R, getting a couple more seconds of stun onto the Saints. Wasn't enough for them to win that fight, and now they're able to get that Chem Drag over for themselves, and Winthrop holds a very, very large lead.
Yeah, it looked like Bakery Boy almost had a huge assassination with that stolen Ashar, but Mabud makes it out alive, Roddy Rich makes it out alive, flashes out, hits their own Ashar, the original Ashar, to come through, and everything falls apart for the Saints. 4 kills come through, and it's a free Baron to come out as well. They grab that last Chemtech, or not the last Chemtech, but deny that soul point for the Saints, and now the Saints are back to that point, like you said, where play this next 5 minutes perfectly, or this game goes farther and farther away.
Well,
Bakery Boy.
It perfectly. Perfect dive top. Bakery Boy's gone.
Yeah, no dive necessary. Turret gone, but Bakery Boy just 1v3. No Zonias available. Rod of Ages, though, now popped for Bakery Boy. The big power spike to come through, but still only 2 items, while you're staring down this Zaya that's about to hit 3. You're staring down a Jax that's got Tabbies, Wits End, Divine Sunderer. This is a huge Jax right now as well.
And he's got the stopwatch. It looks like Elise is going to be close to the Zonias as well. I think they have that the guard over.
Stacks on Medjai's.
Yeah, and they're going to have that Zonias online as well. The Saints, they're going to have to fight very, very hard. They're going to have to find one of these one-off picks. It's going to be a very, very difficult fight for them. I'm not sure exactly, the easiest way you get back in this game or how you want to take this one out, but I would suspect you have to take out Roddy Rich early in one of these fights. You have to find some way to get one of these picks, and I don't know if it was maybe panic or maybe they thought the fight was in a better state, but I think the last team fight the Saints lost, I think they still had 4 flashes up as well.
Yeah.
It's not even to maybe try to make an outplay, a counterplay, just maybe they weren't ready to hit the button on time, or, this the way the fight was going, but dying with 4 flashes up, you feel like maybe there was something they could have done in that last fight to at least try to extend it.
Yeah, I think one of the big things is it's been the chain CC that's a big problem. You can't flash out when you're stunned into Elise Cocoon into Root from the Zaya Feathers. You're just standing there pretty much waiting for your death unless you're Bakery Boy who has a Zonias, really.
Yeah.
Or a cleanse like Rock Boot.
Exactly, and yeah, in that fight, the Zonias gets popped, the cleanse got popped earlier, so you're not going to have 2 of the main tools, and even then, right, you're splitting hairs, like, theoretically, could Bakery Boy have flashed behind someone and found a kill? Sure, I guess, but in the moment, very difficult play, especially when you have a target you think you're going to find the kill on, and it just gets taken away. Now you can see this Baron power play continuing to pay dividends for Winthrop, going to be at about that 12k gold advantage. This middle inhibitor being hotly contested by Maddie, getting chunked away by those super minions. Now that Baron buff is going to be gone. Not too much damage to the lanes for the Saints. They did put a nice squeeze on them, did Winthrop, but the Saints can theoretically win a team fight or 2, or maybe get to soul point, steal the dragon. Like, if you're the Saints, do you try to play for a soul flip at this point, or do you actually try to play front to back and win a team fight?
I think soul is definitely in the cards here for them, but I'm not sure if you can really contest the dragon. You have to find a very prime opportunity, and I don't think Winthrop is going to give it to them, really. They're not just going to...
They're not going to beat themselves.
They're not going to have Mabud with no TP sitting top lane while the dragon's up. They're just... They're too smart to really do that. Coming through, we are going to have a quick replay of this last fight. Here's going to be a big one to watch. Okay, so you see Mabud stunned up, flashes out, makes it out alive. Bakery Boy and Rock Boom kind of just stuck here. Ricky falls initially. There's the next stun to come through. ZKG Everything is forced out right here.
Yeah, and ZKG was chunking those Saints down. You can see how close they got with the engage. They didn't end up finding the kill onto Roddy Rich, but ZKG running all over the Rift with this Zai, getting that double stun, all that chip damage the entire fight. Still sitting at above that 10 CS per limit. Going to be at that 3 items, has that Lord Doms, has the T2 boots, so this is going to be a very, very tough case to crack. If the Saints can maybe bait them in, try to get a couple kills in this fountain area. They maybe can make a play. The Ashar going to get flung out there, maybe looking for that early engage, but it is going to be that middle inhibitor. I don't suspect Winthrop will try to greed for much more. They're going to back off here, maybe try to counter jungle, get set up for this next drag, which should be up sooner than later.
Yeah, right now, looking at this map, I mean, you look at that Elise too, 14 stacks on the Magi, 6 and 1. There's definitely shutdowns to be had on the map here. Looking at Elise and Zaya for sure. St. Clair, is it 13 gold like enough?
Yeah.
The thing is, you find these shutdowns, anything you find off that, whether it be a dragon, whether it be a Baron that comes up in 57 seconds here, will it be enough is the question, right? You're sitting here at 6 kills, and these kills are running away from you as every fight you're just constantly picked out and picked out and picked out.
And I think the Saints had 3 kills in the first 10 minutes off the early gank or some of those early plays, so they haven't really found that much this last little while. Once Winthrop kind of got ahead, they haven't really looked back too hard. Now we are going to see the Dragon come up, but it looks like it'll be given over to Winthrop, essentially. The Saints aren't going to want to lose the game over that Chem Soul. It'd be very, very risky. But as you mentioned, the objective bounties, maybe they can find the shutdown on Zaya. Maybe you can find the shutdown on Elise. Try to get some of those Magi stacks gone. Take some of these outer towers to get that gold in your back pocket. Because the only way back right now, get a couple more items under your belt. Try to make the fight as even as possible. And then engage on that right target. Taking Zaya out of the fight would give them such an advantage. But very, very hard to track her down.
Yeah, 100%. You see IE on Rock Boom now, but the thing is, your team's getting slowly and slowly closer and closer, but at the same time, 3 item Zaya that's just
and
going
the Jack split push
farther and farther. This Zaya's got a stopwatch in hand now as well. You're going to have Roddy Rich there with that Kempuck Chainsword that's just going to be cutting down the healing from Bakery Boy, cutting down Ricky's healing, Rock Boom's healing. This is a very heal-heavy team, but Roddy Rich gets picked out by that Sejuani ult, and that was a huge pick to come through because that Ashar has been 99.999% of the engage from Winthrop. Ricky comes in with the execution as well. Rock Boom gets that ult off in good fashion. ZKG, look at the damage to come through. Ricky, can you keep up with it? Forced to run away there. Karma Shield going to help out a little bit, but now
look at the split push as well.
You got to back off. There's a fight going on in base right now. Bakery Boy and Mabud. Mabud actually looking dangerously low from Bakery Boy. Rock Boom chased down. Cocoon going to be good, and you cannot stop Woo ZKG right now. This Zaya is unstoppable even through that Immortal Shield Bow.
Yeah, and she still has that stopwatch too, so they're able to get through that fight, not need to burn the stopwatch. Then you talked about the anti-heal for that side of Winthrop as well. It looked like it might have ended up being a potential Baron play for the Saints, but we talked about how far ahead this Zaya was, how much damage. Zaya shows up for 3-4 seconds, and 3 members are down to half HP, and now they have so much burst damage, they're going to be able to take this Baron too. And if you're St. Clair now, it's going to be a very, very long road back to the top.
It may be a road that's too long of a trek for the Saints here, as I mean, you're looking at the base two open inhibs, and there's a Jax on the other team. Yeah. That's the big kicker here, is during that entire fight,
and he has TP up still.
There was Bakery Boy sitting in base, brawling it out with Mabud and just trying to stop him from getting this inhibitor. Avano bot lane now. Could see a collapse here, but it's actually Forrest who wants to collapse onto Bakery Boy. You're a little too far up in the lane, Bakery Boy. You might be able to find one, but the Frost Arrow to come through, it's too strong in this game. Ashe support, like, we're back in Season 6 right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, with this bot wave getting pushed like this might be very, very dangerous for the Saints, especially with these Baron minions. This could potentially be the end of the game if Winthrop can clear these waves really quickly, and they have pretty solid wave clear with these champs as well. They're going to take this bottom inhibitor. That middle one's already open, and they can honestly probably tank a few tower shots. Yeah, they're going to send in this TP. They're going to look for the win angle here. They're going to send all 4 members bot lane here. Super minions are pushing in. Mabud is here as well. These Nexus towers, the only things left to fall before that actual Nexus. The stun's going to go through. Right Nexus tower going to be down. That's going to be 1 out of 2. The Elite's going to go for the stun. All these Winthrop members are still looking very, very healthy. ZKG chunking away at these waves as well. The Saints, they can't keep up with this wave clear. Look at the damage output. Baschetti down to 1. Rotham going to be down to half. Maddie's going to be low as well. Winthrop looking for the win. Double kill for Avano. 1 to the Zaya, 1 to the Jax. all that's left is the Nexus. The Nexus is the next to fall, and Winthrop University, with a strong showing, will knock off St. Clair College in Game 1 of these NACL Open Qualifiers.
It almost looked inevitable from 20 minutes, and Winthrop secures it out in the end. A great game from them, starting off a little bit behind, right? That first 7-8 minutes, realistically, super even. Saints even a little bit ahead by 1,000 gold at one point, and Winthrop just shows that they know better in those team fights.
Yeah, I mean, ZKG, you cannot say enough good things. The problem was the Saints, they were never able to lock him down, not even one time the entire game, and not being able to get on that Zaya, especially when she was as far ahead, getting to that early Kraken Slayer, getting those Navori quick blades immediately, pretty much, having the T2 boots online so early. That Zaya, you could see just HP bars getting chunked in thirds pretty much with those feathers landing out, and then combo that with the Ashar from Roddy Rich getting landed, the strong Elise play from Forrest. That Winthrop team, definitely a team to be trifled with.
Yeah, level 6 and onward, that Ashar was 90% of winning this game out for Winthrop. I mean, it probably directly caused 10 plus kills, 10 plus picks that enabled so many more objectives.
Yeah, that Winthrop team, you can tell, we talked about all these teams super high level that are in these qualifiers. There is going to be no slouch team, but with the Swiss bracket now, the teams that are going to be 0-1, you play another 0-1 team, so on paper you get a more favorable matchup, although there's no bad teams in this entire qualifier. Winthrop will take that 1-0 spot. They'll go play one of those top seeded teams as well, but I believe that is going to be all that we have for right now. We're going to have to find out our opponent after the break, then we'll catch you guys back. We'll give you guys the rundown, but stay tuned. More NACL after the break.
I think mid and top are going to be, I think they're going to be pretty stagnant lanes until some junglers get involved. I just don't see either of these players going for all-ins unless Ricky or Mabud finds themselves where they're in a very good trade. Rockboom to find first blood. Just that gauge there, but Roddy Rich forced to burn Flash. Follow-up to come through from Bakery Boy. So he's going to hit to Bakery Boy towards this bot side. Ricky also in the vicinity coming through mid. However, that Sejuani ult not going to land on Roddy Rich there. There's the repel from the Elise as well. Elise goes down quickly, though. That's no more jungler. Ivano falls. Double kill for Bakery Boy. Double kill for Woo, though. Ricky to come in and finish that one off. Roddy Rich still alive here, but doesn't really have much up to be able to try and steal this away. Just going to volley there, but that is another reach gate though. And now the flash engage from Frostborn, seeing if he can take out Maddie. So much damage from this Elise. Maddie is going to fall, so it ends up being a 1-0 for Winthrop. It looked pretty decent there for a second, but they're going to get the kill they were looking for. Now Bakery Boy trying to get it going in the mid lane. That Ashar perfectly timed though. He's going to get caught up. The exhaust comes through. Can he find the kill onto Ivano after this exhaust? The Q land is going decent there for a second, but they're going to get the kill they were looking for. Now Bakery Boy trying to get it going in the mid lane. That Ashar perfectly timed though. He's going to get caught up. The exhaust comes through. Can he find the kill onto Ivano after this exhaust? The Q land is going to be there. He is going to fall as well. So Winthrop getting kills across the board here. They're going to try to close this gold lead. Actually, they're going to have 1,000 gold lead of their own. And now Rockboom going to try to engage on the forest here. Is going to pop that R, but the escapability is going to land up, and he lands back down and squishes Rockboom. That'll be 3 in a man setup here from Winthrop. However, they're split 2 sides of this river.
Yeah, the Saints are doing a really good job, just like you said, splitting that one in half. We're going to see the Argo through the Sejuani onto ZKG. They are going to end up taking the Dragon, but the team fight is what's coming next. The Ash Arrows are going to go in. Triple stun going to land. Ivano's going to find the first kill onto Ricky. Second kill going to be found for the Elise. Rockboom's going to fall. Bakery Boy goes down as well. Mabud is at 1 HP.
On the W, Mabud, crazy footwork, and when you put a player like that onto Jax, but the stun comes through from Bakery Boy. Jax, will they blow up? Mabud makes it out alive. Ivano in the back line, kind of caught out by Bakery Boy, forced to use that R to come through. Kill comes through, Ricky's down, Roddy Rich, another R comes through. Golden is Bakery Boy, but Maddie and Biscotti are ready to fall. Mabud is able to find another kill as well, or it goes over to Woo, and that's the fight all but cleaned up, except Rob. Ricky comes in with the execution as well. Rockboom gets that ult off in good fashion. ZKG, look at the damage to come through. Ricky, can you keep up with it? Forced to run away there. Karma Shield's going to help out a little bit, but now
look at the split push as well.
You gotta back off. There's a fight going on in base right now. Bakery Boy and Mabud. Mabud actually looking dangerously low for Bakery Boy. Rockboom chased down. Cocoon gonna be good, and you cannot
2. The Elite's gonna go for the stun. All these Winthrop members are still looking very, very healthy. CKD chunking away at these waves as well. The Saints, they can't keep up with this wave clear. Look at the damage output. Maschetti down to 1. Rotham gonna be down to half. Maddie's gonna be low as well. Winthrop looking for the win. Double kill for Ivano. 1 to the Zaya, 1 to the Jax. All that's left is the Nexus. The Nexus is the next to fall. And Winthrop University, with a strong showing, will knock off St. Clair College in game 1 of these controls.
But I think mid and top are going to be, I think they're going to be pretty stagnant lanes until some junglers get involved. I just don't see either of these players going for all-ins unless Ricky or Mabud find themselves where...